Hi, my name is Kavi Arora and I am the Managing Director and CEO Religare Finvest, an NBFC focused on providing growth capital to the SMEs in India. We've been in business for 8 years now, and a large opportunity that we see in SME lending, because SMEs, as you know, are very important for any growing or developed economy, and we basically do our whole business around the SMEs. So there are two things largely. One is, as NBFCs, there are certain expectations. First is around the ability or opportunity for NBFCs to raise money at a cheap cost from overseas bonds, and there was in this direction there was one step taken earlier. So we want to see that how is it made more possible to raise cheaper money, maybe from international sources or ECBs that can be allowed for NBFCs. The second is, we had last budget announcement which was regarding applicability of surface high for the NBFCs, and which we haven't seen in form of notification yet. So I would personally expect that there is some clarity around that, which we can take. That will be very, very important, because most of the NBFCs like us, who are giving loans to the SMEs or otherwise, have property as collateral, and a faster process under surface high on the collection side would really help in terms of the managing the NPAs and managing the loss numbers from NBFC perspective. The other set of expectations are how does MSME as a sector does, because our business is focused on giving loans to them, and if there's a push from the government on driving the success for the SMEs, it will have a great impact on our business as well. So starting from the definition of MSMEs as itself, which is, I guess, under consideration for revision, because the definition has been same since 2006 when the MSMED Act came, and we're looking at making that more dynamic definition. That helps the SMEs to get incentives and schemes and get covered under schemes for those medium and small businesses who've grown bigger. Currently they go out of the preview of that definition. So I guess that itself will help. And then a certain amount of tax breaks and tax incentives for the SME smaller businesses will go a long way in developing this sector, and which should be in turn good for our business as well. SMEs, as you know, internationally contribute major amount to the GDP. If you look at Western world, contribution of SMEs or small businesses to GDP in US, for example, is upward of 50%. In Germany, the contribution by SMEs to GDP is about 54%. Taiwan in Asia is at 85% contribution to GDP, but in India we're still at single digit. So I think there's a lot of scope for these small businesses to thrive and succeed if we have to continue with our growth story on GDP.